And now the Hansons and Hiatus podcast with Nate and Alexis.
Happy Friday, fuckers. It is episode 110 of the Hansons on Hiatus podcast. I'm your host, Nate. This is my wife, Alexis.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
And don't forget to support the podcast. buymeacoffee.com/Hansons on Hiatus. You can buy us some virtual beers.
And we'll drink them.
And we might have some virtual bloods.
Didn't expect that.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Oh, shoot. And also, HansonsOnHiatus.com. You can visit the merch store. We got all your 420 gear. Mm-hmm. We have Easter stuff. I know by the time you hear this, it'll probably be too late to order, but you can order it now and have it for next year.
Yeah. You can wear it any day.
Yeah.
Who cares?
It's not like we're not going to have another Easter.
There's a lot of shirts on there says local egg dealer. That's timeless, you know? And the wee ones, you can wear that any day.
It'll be funny in, a year.
It will. Remember when eggs were expensive?
Yeah. Or maybe they'll be super expensive. Who knows? And you could also find the links to the podcast, share with your friends and family. You can be a monthly Fucky supporter. There's a link there. If you are enjoying the podcast and the stories, you can support the podcast. We really appreciate it. You can be a little fucky for $1 a month. You can be a medium fucky for $5 a month. And you can be a big old fucky for $10 a month.
We love all our fuckies.
That's right. Yeah. And one of our newer big old fuckies, Sydney. Woo-hoo. I want to thank her. I want to thank Luis, Manny, Spandex Thor, Brian P, Antonio, Chrissy, Christina, Tom, everybody in there. So thank you very much. We appreciate the support. Like, follow, share, subscribe, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, iTunes, YouTube Music. At Hansons on Hiatus.
We be there.
We be everywhere. And again, if you want to ask us a question about Mexico, moving to Mexico, visiting Mexico, or if you just have a private question you don't want us to address on the podcast, you can message us at Hansons on Hiatus on Instagram or my DigiDude Nate page on Facebook. Or everybody can message you too.
Yeah, anyone can message me too.
Yep. All right. Well, this past weekend, again, and I always say not a lot going on, but I mean, as in we weren't traveling to fucking Mexico City or do something. We were just hanging around the hood.
Right. Still things going on.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. So we went to the beach on Friday. Nothing too crazy. Just you and I. And the beach has been great.
The beach has been beautiful. We saw that it was beautiful on Thursday, so we're like, we have to let's finish our work and get out there. Have to enjoy it. It was amazing. Yeah,
it was really nice. Well, and I don't know, we've talked about this before, but there's a seaweed called sargasso, and it's starting to affect a lot of the Caribbean and Mexico and even up into Florida and everything.
Yeah. And
it's kind of a seasonal thing. It comes and goes. It kind of depends on if it's windy or not, or if I don't know, the blooms. I don't know if it has to do with the heat or the change in temperature or something. But it had been kind of bad for the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
Just on and off. But we say this every year. As soon as high season is done and all the tourists leave for, the season, I guess, it just gets beautiful.
It does.
And it's been so nice. So if you're looking to come to Mexico, I guess it can change week to week. So I don't want to say for sure, but it's been really nice right now.
This is usually a good time. We have a nice little time in spring, and then when summer comes, it's gorgeous.
Yes. Yeah. But we so we have a gym membership,
right?
And we try to mix it up between going to the gym and the track, and we kind of do Monday, Wednesday, Friday gym, and then Tuesday, Thursday track. Just because when you run, it's I remember when I lived in Atlanta, I ran all the fucking time on the treadmill for years, for multiple years.
Yeah.
And it never gets you in the same shape as running outside.
Agreed.
Because it's when you're on a treadmill, you're kind of, you're just not like you're not doing any work, but you're not doing as much work. You're not pushing your whole body along. You're just kind of
it helps you a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're in the AC and you have all the gadgets. So you're like, oh, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Outside, you're like, oh my God,
shoot.
Is it over?
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, it's a lot harder. So we run on the track where our football team or soccer team plays, and just to keep in shape and stuff. Oh, it's gonna start getting hot. That's the worst. Running there in the summer.
So we got to get up much earlier before the sun comes out.
Yeah, and this is. I feel like maybe we've mentioned this before, but we have an issue, and I don't know why it irritates me so much, but on the track, there's literally a sign that tells you how to run on the track. should be very easy. I've never even seen that. A sign that tells you which lane. So it says like, the inside 2 lanes are for like sprinting. The middle 3 lanes are for kind of jogging. And then the outside 2 or 3 lanes are for walking.
Yeah.
Or
slower pace.
Yeah, slower
walking.
pace. Yeah, but mainly walking.
Yeah.
And for some reason at this track, there are, and it's a multi-use thing. There's people doing stairs on the stadium seats. There's people there's like kind of one of those outdoor gyms, where it's not a real gym like with weights, but it's like tires and pull-up bars,
like your body weight type of gym.
Yeah, and then there's like this kind of elevated covered palapa thing where they do dance classes and yoga and like all these different things. For some reason, people like sit on the track like in lanes 7 and 8, which are for walking, but I just can't wrap my head around why you think it's okay to just sit on a track. Like I feel like this should be like, I know we're in Mexico, but it should transcend borders. Like people are in track and field all over the world. It's in fucking Olympics.
I thought this was a universal thing. The levels of the lanes and you stick to that. It's like a safety thing too. You don't want to get run over by someone doing sprints. Like get out of the way.
I don't even care about that. I don't even care if you know how fast you're supposed to run in each lane.
Yeah.
I don't understand these yoga people that come and lay down on the track in lanes like 7 and 8, maybe 6 even. And so when we're walking and or jogging around, you have to like go around people. And I know, oh my God, white guy problems or whatever, American, first world problems or whatever. But somebody, and it's always irritated us, and we always kind of mention it to each other, like, what the fuck is this person doing? There's plenty of room over here. Why would you sit on the track?
There's so much room in that stadium area. I don't know.
Yeah. And I wish I don't want to start a confrontation, but I really wish I could just ask somebody, like, honestly, like, hey, like, I'm just curious, like, why did you think to sit here? Like,
they'd probably be like, I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, but why? Like, what if I'm coming into a place? Like if I'm going to a roller skating rink, I'm not going to go lay down on the rink.
I hope not.
I'm going to sit on the bench, next to it or whatever. Like it just doesn't make any sense. But finally, we thought we were the only ones, and we kind of feel like so a lot of people don't give a fuck about anything. We've talked about walking down the sidewalk and how you almost run into people or whatever, and people are just people here do run into each other, and then they just they don't say, oh, excuse me or anything. It's just like they just bounce off each other like fucking atoms or something, you know. It's so weird. But so finally somebody in one of the Facebook groups for our city posted the sign that has the laps, and they had a similar complaint, but they were like, hey, if you're gonna come on the track and take your selfies and talk on your phone or whatever, can you at least do it in the lane that you're supposed to walk in, instead of the fast lane on the inner one. I
do see people walking around just texting on their phones, and I'm guilty of that once in a while too, if you have to check something, but there's a lot more people that are in the way than are following what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. And I would feel weird like sitting there and having people walk very close around me or running at me or whatever. Like why does nobody
people
like
don't
feel like
have that thing here where they're like, oh, these people are almost running into me. Maybe I should move off the running track and do my yoga in the area where nobody is running. But
no such situational awareness.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for.
But so they were, people were like, yeah, like that, I agree, like blah, 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 and somebody was like, maybe they can't speak Spanish and that's why they're doing it because the sign is in Spanish. But when we first moved here and I looked at it, I translated it. I wanted to know what it said. So
and if you look at it, you can kind of go, okay, they're telling me something about the lanes and like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. Maybe I should translate it. Oh, we all have phones. Like, figure it out.
Yeah. But one guy commented, and I've seen this comment on many different subjects here before when you're talking about, especially for immigrants like us moving here and people adapting to the local customs or whatever.
Lifestyle.
And this guy commented, and I don't even think he was Mexican. He was like, oh, so you want to impose all these rules on people, the rules that you ran away from, and now you want to bring those rules here and blah, blah, blah. And like, it's Mexico, and I just don't understand that excuse of it's Mexico. Like, to me, you're saying, oh, like Mexico is a lower tier of a country. We don't have rules and laws here and stuff, which, I mean, there's a little truth to that. There are things that get bent, rules that get bent and broken and stuff that maybe wouldn't in other countries, but they still have rules and laws, you know?
They do. I think they're saying it's just like a more lax way of living here. It's
Right.
an easier lifestyle. Don't get bent out of shape about all these little things that we would in, the United States or whatever, which here, definitely there are rules to follow, but there is, an easiness about everything. But like things like that, I feel like that's just common sense.
Yeah.
Like if someone is running at me, get out of the way.
Yeah. And it's not like this guy made up these rules.
Yeah.
The fucking government put that sign up. So it is the local rules and customs and, whatever
Yeah.
to do this. So it's like, I don't know. I just hate that. It's Mexico,
Yeah.
like, I mean,
I think it's a way. It's like, oh, don't worry about it so much. It's Mexico, but I don't think that's a good excuse.
yeah.
It's-
Well, and he wasn't
Mexico's
saying it.
great.
Yeah, he wasn't saying it like what you're saying. He was saying it like, why are you bringing your rules and your, whatever here, like
Yeah.
your organization, like, oh, how terrible
How
we,
terrible.
and that's not even Mexico. Like if you go to other parts of Mexico and like there's big cities where there's traffic laws. I
Yeah.
mean, like there are here, but like, I mean, there's massive cities of millions of people. You have to have some fucking rules to like make things work correctly. Just because we're on the beach, we've decided that we are like the Florida Panhandle of Mexico.
Yeah.
It's just, like we didn't realize because we come here, but we're kind of like, not saying this in a bad way, but we're like the beach trash of
Yeah.
of the country because
guess
it's
so.
like going to Florida. Like you go there and you can wear fucking cargo shorts and flip flops and a tank top every day, like I do.
Anything is.
But when we go to other parts of Mexico, like people look at you weird. You usually don't wear shorts or tank top or even a t-shirt sometimes.
Oh,
So
yeah. We learned not to wear flip flops in Mexico City. We're
Yeah.
like, this is weird.
yeah, so yeah, we're definitely like the jungle people over here. So
Jungle Bee.
Yeah,
I like
don't
that
know.
better.
But yeah, I'm like that shouldn't be. This is Mexico. Like that's not an excuse. Like you should still obey the laws and the rules of of the country and the city and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, but
I know. I don't know.
we'll figure it out. I'm gonna ask somebody one of these days.
One of these
what
days.
the fuck are they doing?
What are you doing? I always give them a look like, why? There's so many places to
Yeah.
go there, but oh well.
Yeah, and it's not even like I'm worried that they like we can't communicate or something. I just don't want to be like the foreigner asking a local or something because I don't know if these people might be from somewhere else. They might be from Argentina or something like that. But maybe we'll bring one of our Mexican friends along with us so it doesn't look like we're trying to like impose our terrible rules
Yes.
of not getting run over.
Just trying to be safe here while we
Yeah.
work out.
But let's see, what else did we do this weekend? Oh, our friend Marlos, who we've talked about before, she's the one from Holland. She bought a house.
She did. Yay.
Yeah. So she wanted to have a housewarming party. So we did like a little adult sleepover with our Sunday Funday crew.
Our Sunday Funday crew between Marlos and Wanda, they always want us to sleep over at
Yeah.
one of their houses, which Wanda has a little more room than Marlos used to. But I'm like, I'm 41. I want to sleep in my bed. Can I just like hang out and then I'll go home? But now that Marlos she has a new house with like 3 bedrooms, and we're like, oh, okay, why
Yeah.
not?
So we decided. Well, and we also had messaged our friends Eric and Rachel, who are from the U.S. and they used to live. Were they in Panama or Costa Rica? They're in Panama.
Panama, I
Yeah.
think, yeah.
Or maybe both actually. But anyway, we made plans to go to the beach with them. We were trying to get them to go on Friday so we could, because the sleepover thing was on Saturday? Yeah, it was on Saturday. And they were busy on Friday, so we decided, all right, let's go to the beach in the morning with them on Saturday because we're only going to go a couple hours, and the sleepover thing wasn't until 4. So we go to the beach, and we saw some fucking wild shit going to the beach actually.
Always.
Yeah. So the way we go to the beach, we got to go through this like kind of jungle road. And there is like there's a couple of little cenotes in there, little I don't know, what do you call them in English? It's like a sinkhole, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
sinkhole.
so like basically a sinkhole with water in it.
Yep.
And there's one right by the path that goes like right along or almost to the beach, but it's in the jungle.
Yeah.
We look over and there's 2 dudes like kind of looking in there and like taking pictures. I'm like, what the fuck?
Like, what do you see?
We go over there and there's a big fucking crocodile
Yes.
over there.
He's like, crocodile.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, it's a baby.
Yeah.
And the lady goes, where's the mama?
Yeah,
We're like,
yeah. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean like big 4A crocodile, but big.
to see at the beach.
Yeah,
I
I
was
mean,
like,
it's
why
still
is-
like 5 feet long, probably.
yeah. Oh,
you know?
he was. Why
Yeah.
is he here?
And then we're sitting on the beach, and I look up and I see two dudes dropping out of the sky, and they are skydivers,
Yeah.
and they're kind of like floating around us, and then they land on the beach right by the volleyball courts.
How can they land so precise? That's what always scares me. You see them come in and then they'll fly right over you. I'm just waiting for them to run into the volleyball net or something like
Yeah.
that, like a whole bunch of people.
Well, I think they have those like strings with the handles, right? So they
Right.
can like turn left and right. So I think if you know how to do that, it's probably somewhat easy, you
True.
know.
Not
But I
professional.
just remember sitting on the beach and being like, we live in a fucking weird place.
We
I'm
do.
like seeing crocodiles on the beach. You know, we're at the dog beach. There's a bunch of dogs running
Oh,
around.
yeah.
You know, there's guys dropping out of the sky, and I'm like, this is a normal Saturday for us.
It really is. It's normal Mexico.
Yeah.
That's why we have a podcast.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, yeah, the beach in the morning was a big mistake.
Why? I thought it was lovely.
Well, I told you this would happen.
What?
Because normally, like, if you start drinking early and then you take a break for a few hours,
Yeah.
then that's fucking nap central. Remember, like in college when you'd go tailgate and you get up like, you know, maybe early afternoon game, like a 1 o'clock game or something. You start tailgating at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you drink through the game, and then it's like you're done and it's like 3-4 o'clock. And you go home, try to take a nap. And if you do, man, I mean, sometimes you'll feel better, but a lot of times you just either crash or it just fucking ruins the rest of the night.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
used to say, like, nope, I'm done. If I'm sleeping, I'm done.
So for this, yeah, so that's what happened. So we went to the beach a couple hours, did a little bit of drink. I mean, we just had a couple beers,
Couple.
but the sun kills you.
It
I mean,
really
like even
does.
without having beers, the sun takes all the energy out of you
It
for
was
some reason.
such a nice day, though. I'm glad we went. It was beautiful out.
Yeah. So we go back, we get ready, we go we take a taxi over to the mall,
Mhm.
which is where our friend is going to pick us up because she lives right by the mall.
Yeah.
And we go into we got there first. So we're like, we should get, you know, some beers or whatever. We were already bringing bottles of wine. What else did we have? We brought some games.
Liquor.
We
Some
brought
kind of liquor.
We brought a cake. Oh yeah. I brought tequila.
Cake, tequila.
This is the thing that I'd love to add if anybody else wants to send us a message or comment on this episode. How do you split things with friends? Because these are like our core group of friends. We love them to death, but it is always really hard to split bills with them.
Right.
Because since we are so close, when we go out to like a restaurant or a bar or something, when we get the tab, you know, a lot of times you have to pay in pesos because they don't want to split checks, or I mean the restaurant or whatever doesn't want to split checks. Then we have to split it somehow. And one of our friends always is like, yeah, let's just split it 3 ways, you know, like couple.
Yeah.
And I've always hated doing that because like we've said at other times, we'll go out with people and they will get, you know, some cocktails or something.
Yeah. And we get beers.
And we get beers. And it's like, okay, well, your cocktails were like $15 and our beers were like $2-3.
Yeah.
So why are we splitting it 3 ways?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what happened here is like we were going to go into the mall where there's a grocery store in the mall. That's why we would go in there to get beer. So we're going to go in the mall and get some beer. We had already bought snacks and all that other stuff. Or I mean, the cake and the wine and the tequila.
Brought it with.
And they were like, oh, let's go get some, you know, some snacks for tonight. We were going to order food and we ended up getting like a, you know, shopping cart. I know in Georgia you call it a buggy.
Yeah.
And everybody's just putting their stuff in and we get to the checkout and they're like, oh, we'll just split it 3 ways. And I'm like, I don't know about that. We only picked out like 4 seltzers and a 6-pack of beer.
Yeah.
We get to the checkout, 3,000 pesos.
It was like
Oh.
over 3,000
Oh, was it?
pieces. Yeah. We were almost like,
Of like
I don't know.
3,500 or
yeah.
something. Okay, so that's about $175.
Yeah.
I just hate splitting, especially like, and not even this situation. Like if you go on a vacation with a group of friends and you stay in an Airbnb and we're like, oh, we're going to get stuff for breakfast and
Yeah.
lunch and we're going to have snacks and everybody picks out their own thing and then you have to divide it.
Yeah.
It never works out because you didn't get the same things. And I'm like, it ends up like we ended up having to split it 3 ways and we're paying $50-$60 for a 6-pack of beer and maybe some crackers I'm going to eat out of the other stuff, you know?
Right.
So I was wondering how everybody else do people just do that, or do you say no? I'm sorry. I mean, because that was the thing. Is like I wanted to say, hey, can we just pay for what we got? But then is that rude? Or they can be like, oh, what? And then once we get there, they go, oh, you can't have any of my food then because you didn't want to pay for a portion of it or whatever.
My thing is, if I'm invited to somebody's house and they're saying they're going to have food, I don't expect to pay for the food. But I have no problem with chipping in for the food if we were like, we're getting a bunch of pizzas, we're getting a bunch of sandwiches, we're getting Chinese, whatever you want. I don't mind chipping in for that. I think what we should have done is split it 3 ways, but divided the stuff, like whoever got the fancy sodas and chippies and this and that for themselves, like put that in your pile. Like we had our beer and our thing, like I'll pay for ours, but I'll grab a bottle of one of the champagnes because we're going to have mimosas in the morning. And I know we're at least going to have one mimosa or something. So give me one of those, not, whatever. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard because like somebody got a bottle of rum. Well, yeah, I'm not drinking a third of your bottle of rum.
I had no rum.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's really tough with like good friends because you don't want to be rude, but I guess you should be able, if they're such good friends, you should be able to say that to them. And I'm a little non-confrontational with stuff like that because I don't want to get into a thing, with people we like and care about. So so if anybody else has any ideas how they usually do stuff. I'm open to suggestions because I've gotten to the point where I'm going to have to just put my foot down and like, no, we're just going to buy our stuff. And I don't want to do that because I feel like that's a little rude, but I didn't know if there's another way to do it.
And we're pretty like savvy with our money. Like, we're pretty frugal with what we spend and what we spend it on. We don't really like super fancy things. I'm not drinking champagne and wine every day. We're usually drinking beer and having certain foods.
Well, and then the things I do pick out, I'm getting the store brand or, the cheapest one. I'm not getting, the name brand, whatever.
Or whatever. So it's hard. Other people have different tastes and different value with things. So it's really hard.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, it's funny because our friend moved. She used to live in this area that was a gated community, and it was always a bitch to get in there because they charge you more in the taxis to get into this neighborhood because they have to go through the gate and everything, and
it takes a long time to get in there. Get in and out.
They got to show your ID and you write it down and all this junk, so it's expensive. So she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm moving across the highway by the mall,
right behind the mall.
Right behind the mall." I'm like, great. "Oh great, yeah." So we get picked up from the grocery store, and we're riding over there. There's another fucking gate. It's another goddamn gated community.
Failed to mention that again when we were saying, yay, you're not in a gated community. Yeah, in a gated community.
Well, I think we said that previously, and she's probably like,
I'll tell them when they arrive.
Yeah. But other than that, like, so we get there, beautiful house, 2-bedroom, almost brand new. It looks fantastic.
Oh yeah, French Canadians owned it before, so they took real good care of it. Did a bunch of upgrades and things. She got a great deal on it. I'm so happy for her.
So yeah, we have our adult sleepover. We're nice little backyard, kind of. It's not even fenced in. What do you call it? Walled in? Like everybody's backyard has a wall.
Yeah, like stone wall. It's really pretty.
Yeah. So we're back there. We're doing some snacks. We're drinking. We play a little bit of Uno.
Yes.
And then we decided to play some beer pong.
Yes.
Yeah, which is great because like most of these people have never played beer pong, so I'm like trying to get them better at it and teach them. Actually, y'all are better than me.
Oh yeah.
Because we played you and Marlos, and y'all beat me and Carlos.
Yep.
And then you guys played like 3 or 4 games.
We won like the first 2 rounds, and then we started going downhill. I think the more we started drinking and smoking and whatever, it just wasn't going in.
So I decided to kick it up a notch, and instead of doing all beer, we did the middle cup, a shot of tequila.
So sneaky.
Yeah.
Sneaky.
Well, it wasn't sneaky. Like, we told you that this was happening.
I think I was in the ladies' room when you did this. So I came out and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Okay. Well, we all were there and we all talked about it.
Okay.
So we had one cup that was the tequila cup in the middle, and then the rest were beer. So everybody knew which cup was the tequila cup.
Yeah.
So you guys beat us the first game. Then I think when we came back around and we're playing you the third and fourth game, you guys were in the bathroom and I was filling up the cups, and I'm a little tipsy at this point, and I'm like, I'm gonna put a couple tequila cups in here. So I put like 2 or 3 of the cups as shots, and 2 or 3 of them as beer.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah. that was a big mistake.
Big.
Yeah, because halfway through the game, you realized it, made us switch, so we got the tequila, and then you guys made it into those cups, and I ended up having to take the drink of the tequila. Yeah, I played myself, and we sucked after that.
I wonder why.
So I ended up drinking my own shots. It was kind of like that movie Basketball.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it. I mean, probably not in quite a while, but
Yeah.
there's this one scene where after the game, or after, maybe it was before a game, they go out to a bar and they're drinking, and so they go to the game and they play and they're just fucking hammered.
Oh, God.
And so there's this one scene where, can't remember if it's Trey Parker or Matt Stone. It's the guys from South Park.
Oh, yeah.
And he has the ball and he's getting ready to shoot. It's like baseball rules.
Yeah.
And he's like pass out. And
Sleeping.
then a horn goes off and it goes, "Huh," and he goes, "Phew," and he just throws it.
Oh.
And I think he missed it or it
Oh, God.
went over the fucking garage or something like that. But that was me. But I sucked.
Listen.
Yeah.
We did our best. We haven't played in a long time.
Yeah, that's true. But it was a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good time. Next
It
day,
was fun.
yeah, we did. It was did we watch a movie? No, we're just watching TV, I think.
Watching TV at the end of the night, slowing down. It was nice. I enjoyed the sleepover part. I enjoyed the games and dinner before. And I really enjoyed not having to drive home. And the next morning, we could kind of like hang out and be a little hungover together, have our coffee and mimosas, and then go to the pool. That was really nice. It felt like we were at an Airbnb hanging with our friends.
Yeah. And then we went to the pool the next day. No music or drinks at the pool, so that was a little
No fun.
Yeah.
No fun at this
Zero
pool.
fun at the
Zero
pool.
fun. Lots of rules. I don't know what they're going to do there.
yeah. So that's gonna be an issue in the future, I think. Unless it was Sunday, so maybe it's like a quiet day.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Seems weird.
Yeah. So
No drinks, no music.
but I have another question for you guys, for y'all fuckies.
For all of us.
So we had some friends come in town. There's 3 girls, and I've known them for like 15 years probably. Went to college with them in Orlando, and they were staying in Tulum. And Tulum is, what is it, 45, 50 minutes maybe?
Yeah.
It's less than an hour, I think,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, just about a little bit less than an hour. And one of them hit us up and said, "Hey, we're going to be in town or whatever." And they told us like what they were doing.
Lots of
And
plans.
this is the time they're open. And we were like, "Oh, hey, do you want to come up and, come see where we live and visit us?" Like, they haven't been to visit us. Last time one of them was there, we went over to Cozumel to see them on a cruise,
Yeah.
but the other ones haven't, and I haven't seen them in years. And I don't know. I just feel. Tell me if like I'm overreacting. And audience, fuckies, tell me the same if I'm overreacting. First, I felt a little hurt, I guess, that they didn't ask me my advice on any of the tours that they were doing.
Big no with a tour guide guy. I mean, come
Well,
on.
I'm just thinking, and it's fine, but I felt like it kind of hurt my feelings a little bit, because if I was, let's say they lived in Arizona or something, and I was going to, in 45 minutes of where they live, I'd probably hit them up and be like, "Hey, I'm coming to, your neck of the woods. What's there to do around there?"
Yeah.
Or, "Hey, is this tour good? Is there a cheaper one? Is there a better one? Is this an okay place to go?" None of that.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
did ask a couple questions or advice, but nothing
Right.
major.
And then the little time that they had free, that they, I guess, could squeeze us in.
Yeah.
That's another thing that kind of hurt my feelings, is I would have made time to go see them.
Yeah, I don't
like
think
if
they
I was
planned-
going to Arizona, even if I'm 40, 45 minutes away, I would have made a little bit of time to go see, my friends that have lived in another country. I mean, and I'm just talking about Arizona. Like, what if they moved to fucking France or something?
Yeah.
I came all this
Fucking
way,
France.
you come all this way,
Yeah.
like, and they invited us to come down for dinner. No offense, I'm not a big fan of the Tulum dinner scene. Really, it's kind of a little more bougie than I typically like. I know you don't have to eat at this place, but that's what they're doing.
That's what
And
they had an itinerary that they shared with us, and we were like, I don't see any room to come see us or us to come see you, but except dinner. And that's not really fun for us to. We don't have a car,
yeah,
so we'd either have to rent a car, which we weren't going to do, or take the bus down to be cheaper. But then I gotta take the bus down 40, 50 minutes, come to dinner, and then I got to take the bus home because
Yeah.
I'm not staying there with you,
Yeah, and I know what I'm about to say could be looked at as hypocritical, but we invited them to come up, and I said, "Hey, the bus ticket is only $5.
Yeah.
We can tell you how to get to the bus station. It's super easy.
easy.
There's no stops in between. It comes right to Playa del Carmen. I'll even buy your tickets, and then you can just reimburse me. You can give me the $5 when you get here. Just make it easy." And they didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
So that kind of hurt my feelings that they didn't. And I get it. Yes, we could have. I was asking them to do the same thing that we did not want to do, but we've been to Tulum. They haven't been to our city,
Right.
and they were going to ruins and cenotes and all these things. Wouldn't you want to go see another city? The one that we've lived in for almost 4 years, and come see your friends or whatever. So,
or invite us to the excursions or something fun. Like, I don't want to come drive 50 minutes just for dinner.
Yeah.
Have to
Yeah,
come
true.
home.
Yeah,
Like,
that was the other thing, because we wanted to show them around and do things.
Yeah.
I didn't want to ride the bus 2 hours to go eat dinner at a place that's probably a little bit overpriced in my budget,
Right.
So fuckies, let me know if I'm overreacting. And
I don't think they meant anything really
No.
by it. It was nothing personal. And maybe it was just a girls' trip. 2 of them are moms or just one? One's a mom.
I don't know, I mean, regardless, it doesn't matter.
Whatever. So
They're all in their mid to late 30s.
I feel like this was
mid-30s.
we haven't been on vacation in a minute, especially with us girlfriends. We're going to do it all together. So there wasn't a lot of room to wiggle us in.
No, and I understand that, but they did have time to do it. Like the time that they wanted us to come down to go to some dinner or to some restaurant, they could have came up and we could have showed them around our city, So,
I wish they would have seen. They probably would have loved Playa, just even for the afternoon,
Yeah.
just a few hours.
No, and I don't think there was any ill will
No.
by it at all. I just felt like, made me a little sad. They didn't ask for our advice of, a place we've lived and love and didn't come to see us. But,
It happens.
It happens. So hopefully they'll come back next time. But
Yeah.
just wondering if I'm overreacting or, if I should not feel hurt, I guess.
Sometimes other friends come and they stay, very north of us or south of us, and they're at an all-inclusive, so they don't understand that we can't come see them, and then they don't want to leave because they're paying for the all-inclusive. So it happens. There's different things. You got a different prerogative when you're on your paid vacation.
True. I kind of understand, but yeah. The other thing about Tulum, you had a Airbnb guest that was, what were they asking for a discount? Which we've talked about before. To me, it's still weird you ask for a discount at an Airbnb. Like, I feel like that's...
I guess that's a thing because we, not all the time, but often we get asked that.
Yeah.
Hey, it's really just out of our budget. Can you work with us so we can have our dream vacation? If this is the budget you're on, you don't want to come to Tulum.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I didn't... And it was like their birthday and honeymoon?
It was their
correct?
honeymoon and the wife's birthday. So they were putting both together in a trip.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. I think that's incredibly rude to ask for a discount. Oh, it's a little bit out of our budget. You're on your honeymoon and your wife's birthday. What are your places like at the time? I mean, they're usually $50 to $80 typically here or there. It's $80 a night.
Yeah.
Like usually when people come on their honeymoon, and I know everybody has different budgets and
Of
stuff,
course.
but you already budgeted to pay for a couple $100 plane ticket.
Mhm.
Tulum ain't cheap. You got this beautiful house for a good deal. Why didn't you go to Delta and ask them for a cheaper flight? Why don't you, if you go to the restaurant, you can say, hey, can I, get a discount? I'm from out of town. Why is it okay to ask somebody for a discount at their home?
Yeah.
That's a property that they're renting.
I don't know if I don't take it as being rude. I'm just like, you're in for a big surprise when you come here. If you think we're expensive, the place you're staying, good luck in Tulum. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's just weird to ask for a discount on a place that's already fairly cheap.
Yeah.
And the excuse isn't like, hey, I notice you don't have an in-ground pool or a gym or something.
Yeah.
Can I knock it down a little bit? Because that's really what we're looking for. Just to say that it's out of your budget. Well, sorry, keep looking then, bitch. Sorry. I mean, I hate to be blunt, but
maybe we need to start asking because, it doesn't hurt to ask. All we can do is say no. And most of the time we do say no. It's when it's kind of like the off-season times. Yeah, we'll cut you a deal if we need that week filled or, whatever's going on. But I don't know.
But
I mean,
why is that the only thing on someone's vacation that they feel comfortable asking for a discount? You wouldn't go to a tour company and
Yeah.
say, "Hey, I know it's $100 to go to Chichen Itza, but can you do it for 70? It's kind of out of my budget." Well,
Yeah.
I would say if I was hosting that tour, I mean, maybe I would say something, but I would probably say, "Well, maybe you need to look for a different company or something."
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like I set the price because this is what it costs me plus making a little bit. So
It's
I don't
probably
know.
like one of the last things that you can actually communicate with a person. Like Delta, you're just calling Delta and they're like, no, we're a money making machine. Airbnb, it is a little more personalized. You are talking to the owners and their staff, and I think they're just shooting their shot. They're saying, hey, can we get a little discount? And we don't give much. I think the most is 10%. Maybe
Oh,
5.
don't tell
I
everybody.
know, 5 to 8%, whatever.
Actually,
but-
you should do that. See if your boss will let you give like a little discount, like 10% discount or something, if they mention the podcast or something.
for
like that.
sure, for sure. Depends on the season.
Yeah, true.
And
yeah.
the person.
Yeah, but
Just kidding.
yeah, but anyway, we have a big weekend coming up. It is a lot of shit going on.
Easter?
Weedster.
Yes, it is.
Like I said last week, I think it's the first time since 2014 that Easter and 420 fall on the same date.
Oh, very interesting.
Yeah. So, but it's not only that. This week is Semana Santa, which is the Holy Week. That's the week leading up to Easter. That's like the biggest travel week of the year for Mexicans. So there's gonna be a lot of people here. That's what a lot of people forget. It's like this is a touristy area for Mexico because a lot of people don't realize there are Mexican tourists too.
yeah.
Mexicans travel within Mexico.
Yeah.
So not everybody you'll see here this week is local. They're from another part of Mexico. And actually, when we were leaving the beach the other day,
Yep.
do you remember those two little kids?
So cute. With the family,
yeah.
the dad, the mom.
Yeah,
and-
they were coming around the corner, and we're walking out of the beach access, and the little kids were like, "What did they say? Did they say
They
something?"
go, wow,
Yeah,
this
that's-
is a real vacation or something.
Yeah.
Like, this is Mexico. That's
Yeah.
what they said. This is Mexico, like looking at the beach.
Yeah, and they were Mexicans.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they were just like, it was just so cute to see them so excited to see the ocean because if you live inland that far, you don't see the ocean all the time.
And
so.
you can tell, like we were saying, beach trash over here. They were very well put together. New swimsuits, flip flops, all their little things.
like their little pail and
Yeah, we're like they're from
Yeah.
somewhere not from our side of Mexico.
yeah. So it's Semana Santa, and then Weedster, which is we're gonna throw a party on our rooftop,
Mhm.
do a little smoking, a little drinking, a little eating. But what do you make for Easter? Like so I'm
normal Easter.
Yeah, like I'm trying to remember. Well, and then I'm trying to get ideas for what we can make because like our neighbor's gonna make a ham, so that's Easter.
Yeah.
What do you do for sides for Easter? I can't think of it. Is it just basically the same as Thanksgiving and Christmas dinner? Like
Pretty
are we
much.
doing mashed potatoes, baked beans, like all that
I
stuff?
think like just the meat, the protein changes for each holiday. Like Greek Easter, we do lamb. I think my mom still makes a ham, but we'll always have lamb.
Mhm.
Lamb is like the number one protein.
Gotcha. But yeah, so like what would we make? I mean, we're not gonna make baked beans and shit for the rooftop.
Yeah, I thought maybe potatoes or potato salad. Maybe we take the traditional like ham, potatoes, vegetables, and we change it to like potato salad, like more of a picnicky type of thing.
Wow, yeah. Well, anybody else, little fuckies or big fuckies or medium fuckies or the free fuckies, all
Yeah,
of you.
all the fuckies.
Also, comment on this episode if you can tell us what you guys usually eat for Easter because
There's
I'm like,
lots of questions.
I'm like just fucking drawing a blank. All my holidays, like I used to cook it up big, and I just can't even think what I would make for Easter.
Yeah, all the sides. I think my mom would have like potato salad.
But
or
are there like classic ones like people know like you got to have the cranberry for Christmas or Thanksgiving or whatever?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Easter, because you're not making like green bean casserole. That's Thanksgiving. So
Yeah, are you? I don't know.
I don't
yeah.
know.
But I'm gonna make deviled eggs,
Ooh, there you go.
and I'm going to put green food color in them, so they're a little green. So it'll be like
Ooh.
Weedster
Oh, there
deviled
you go.
eggs. Yeah.
Clever. Very clever.
And then I don't know. Some people don't like ham. How can you not like fucking ham? I can understand not liking lunch meat ham.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you know what I mean? You can
Jingle,
just see them.
I can see it.
But I don't understand not liking like good, like thick cut spiral ham. Oh, that's what
honey
our
baked
friend Rachel
ham.
was the one that was saying that she doesn't like ham. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's like, ugh. I think it was her, right?
I don't know. Somebody was. But ham's not my first choice of meat.
Oh, get out.
I know. I don't dislike it, but it's not my first choice. If there's other, turkey, lamb, whatever, steak, something. But I will eat ham. I think it's good.
Yeah.
Especially honey baked ham.
I like it when it's like like you can cut the slices off and you get thick ones.
Yeah.
And then for
crusty on
leftovers,
the
then you can
outside.
make like a ham and cheese sandwich. And,
Oh, yeah.
it's so good. Just like
So good.
juicy as fuck. Oh, man. Yeah, so we're going to have the Wheatster party. And then also Greek Easter falls on the actual Easter this year.
Yeah, Orthodox
and
Easter.
Weedster. Sorry, I keep saying Weedster. 420.
420, yes. 420. I kept calling it 420 day because actually a lot of people here, not a lot of people, a lot of my girlfriends, when I'm like, oh, it's 420 on Sunday and Easter, they're just like drawing a blank. What's 420? I'm not from the U.S. or I'm not from here. They didn't know what 420 was. Had to
Who doesn't
explain
know
it to them.
420? All of your friends are in that girl group are all from the U.S.
A lot of the Mexican girls didn't know. A lot of the Canadians girls were like, what?
I will give, maybe not the Canadians. I'll give the Mexicans a pass because they spell their dates with the day first and then the month and then the year.
24.
So 420 never happens.
Right.
But that's what we should ask like some of our local Mexican friends. Do you know what this is other than the U.S.?
Right.
Like if you didn't hear it, like, is there a weed day for Mexicans?
Right.
Like a smoking day or something. Like also like 311, that like the band 311, March 11th is like a big 311 weed smoking day. So
gotcha.
like, do they have a day like that where they're like, oh, this is like the Mexican party day or something?
I can't believe 311 still doing cruises and doing that shit.
Forever.
Oh my
forever.
God.
But yeah, the Greek Easter. What do you guys do for Greek Easter? Eat lamb and
Lamb.
And
We
they-
dye eggs.
but they're red, right?
You dye them red and you like crack them against each other. It's kind of like a game, like the wishbone with the turkey.
Oh.
You take the eggs, you pick which side you want to play, and then you crack it against somebody else. You each take turns, and whoever's cracks loses, and then you win. I don't know. I don't know what you win.
So why is Greek Easter different than normal Easter?
The Orthodox Easter, it's like based on the solar calendar. So it's like pretty much by the moon. So
Wait, the solar calendar?
Yeah. So that did like the the planets and everything,
Oh, okay.
the astrological
Oh, okay,
calendar,
okay.
whatever you call it.
Yeah, all right.
I looked it up yesterday. I think it said solar calendar. Yeah.
So do they like go by those dates? Like
it's-
normally, like are they on like they're like, oh, we're 5 days off from everybody else. Like
It's the
today is April
Sunday.
3rd, but it's like, everybody else is April 12th or
Yeah.
something.
They're like, we're just gonna pick a day. We don't care what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
It's the Sunday after the not eclipse, but full moon. It's like whatever that lunar moon is for in
Right.
April. After that, then that's our Easter.
But I mean, like Greek Orthodox people,
Yeah.
do they go by this calendar
Yes.
year round?
Oh, probably not in modern day, but the religion does.
That's weird.
Yeah, right? I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I
don't know
grew
about
up
that.
Greek and still don't know half the shit.
Let me look it up. So let's see. What is Greek Easter? Or why is it different? Okay. This is because the Greek Orthodox Church sets their Easter date based on the Julian calendar,
Right.
which differs slightly from the Gregorian calendar that is used by many other faiths. So we're on the Gregorian calendar.
Right.
I know what the Julian calendar is.
It's the solar calendar.
Is it? I don't know if it's by solar. Julian calendar.
It's a solar calendar with 365 days in a common year and
I don't even
366
have
in
the
a
internet.
leap year. With a leap day every 4 years.
Okay, so
So
it's the yeah. I mean, I guess it's technically based off the planets and stuff like that, but they divide the days different. So it's like you guys don't. Maybe the Julian calendar doesn't do leap year.
They do every 4 years.
Okay, well that would make sense because they're off.
Oh,
Because like I think we're 365 days. Obviously, maybe the Julian calendar is like 366 or something.
this is even more. The Orthodox Church uses both the Gregorian and Julian calendars, with the Gregorian calendar used to fixed feast days like Christmas, whatever, and then the other one is for Easter. That's not
You
confusing.
fucking Greeks.
right?
No wonder you're so angry all the time. Not you, just your people.
I know. But it's like, it's after the whatever that full moon is. That's when our Easter is.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. We're probably sounding like idiots right now. So if there's any real Greeks out
I
there.
sound like a big idiot because I'm Greek. Thanks so
no,
much.
I'm just kidding.
Appreciate
But
that.
you don't, I mean, you don't celebrate. I mean,
I'm not going to Orthodox church.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not
what I
going
mean.
to-
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not doing all that stuff. But I celebrated. I give them a little,
I mean,
you
you
know.
celebrate, but I mean, like, you're not, going to the Greek Orthodox Church. Is there even one here? I wonder if there is.
Probably. I
Yeah.
think there's an Orthodox
Really?
church. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, that's now we know.
It's
Now
a
we
lot.
know, I guess.
I think it's just easier. I remember when I was a kid and my yaya would say, I'd be like, oh, happy Easter. And she'd be like, it is American Easter, not Greek Easter. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, that's not going to be weird at school for me to say.
Yeah, right. All right. Well, before we get out of here, I wanted to bring up a tidbit of information I kind of recently learned, or I knew this, but then I refreshed myself because I posted a bottle of tequila that we drank this past weekend,
Mhm.
and one of my buddies goes, hey, he's like, oh, I love those low ABV tequilas.
Huh.
And I was like, what are you talking about? So I went back and I looked, and it's 35%.
Huh.
And I was like, I think that's pretty standard.
Yeah.
And going on our tequila tours in Tequila Jalisco,
Yep.
we learned that most tequila technically tequila has to be between 35 and 55%, but most all tequilas in Mexico are 38 or 35.
Oh.
And so I was like, what is he talking about? Low ABV
Yeah.
tequila. And I went and looked, and in the United States, tequila by law has to be 40% or higher.
Weird.
And my buddy's from Canada, and he said it was the same thing there. And I still could not really figure out why.
Yeah.
It's something to do with like the U.S. says that spirits have to be for at least 40%.
Oh.
So like I don't know if they're trying to, like the name, like how they name things, like if it's a spirit or a liqueur or whatever.
Yeah.
So maybe they're trying to get it. So you can't call it a spirit and it has like 15%. They usually call it a liqueur or something, I think.
Weird.
But yeah,
the U.S. gets their own special tequila.
yeah. So any tequila that Mexico sends to the U.S., they distill it at 40%, and then I don't know if they water ours down or something.
Oh.
But the other thing is, I was talking to, I think it was our guide in tequila. He was saying, well, Mexicans a lot of them sip their tequila, so you want it to be a little less strong, so you're not just getting fucking shit faced.
Yeah, we're the only ones shooting tequila.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. So most standard tequilas in Mexico are 35 or 38%. They can be more, but it's not. It's kind of rare to see that. But in the U.S., they're all 40%
Crazy.
or higher.
Never thought of that.
Yeah. Who knew?
I mean, 5% difference, real low.
Yeah.
Low ABV.
I know, right? But I guess it's just I know, right? But I guess it's just the law that the U.S. set. So,
Interesting.
Yeah. So if anybody knows more than that or more than I do about this, please let me know of why the U.S. has this 40% law.
Learn something every day.
Yeah, super crazy. But all right, well, let's see. buymeacoffee.com/Hansons on Hiatus. You can buy some virtual beers there. HansonsOnHiatus.com. You can you can head out to the merch shop and get some Hansons on Hiatus stuff. You can get some weed stuff. You can get some pug stuff.
Kitty stuff.
Kitties.
All sorts of stuff. Spring break stuff.
Not titties. You know what's funny? We started doing the cat shirts because our friend Wanda said she wanted cat shirts. So you made it.
I'm like, sure, no problem.
Yeah, so you made them because we were making a lot of pug stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then we talked to her this weekend, and she goes, no, I meant shirts that the cat could wear.
Ugh. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I spent hours making all these cat shirts. Are you kidding?
Yeah, but people love the cat shirts. People
That's
love
great.
cats.
Yeah. People love them.
Yeah, so.
So funny. We were like, what?
Yeah.
You could have just said that. A shirt for the cat. But I swear she was like, I want cats on the shirt. She wanted her cat specifically. And I was like, I don't know who's going to buy a Rusty the cat shirt, but I could put an orange cat on there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So HansonsOnHiatus.com. You can do the merch shop. You can find all our links if you are enjoying the stories, information, good times, and you want to support the podcast. You can become a fucky supporter.
Mm-hmm.
We really appreciate all our fuckies, even our free fuckies. We love y'all.
All our fuckies. We love all of you. Every single one.
So happy Easter. Happy Greek Easter. Feliz Semana Santa. And happy 420. Smoke them if you got them.
Woo-woo.
And don't forget to like, follow, share, subscribe, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, iTunes, YouTube Music at Hansons on Hiatus. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Happy Friday, fuckers.
Happy Friday, fuckies.
That's it. Thanks for listening. Goodbye for now. Bye.